I used this aim trainer for 30 days straight and the results were actually kind of surprising. I impressed myself a little bit. Now, not everyone can be a Shroud or an Asu. Or can they? I wanted to test this out and see if there was actually any point in using an aim trainer to improve my gameplay. So I went out and found this 14-page, that's right, 14-page long aim manifesto from one of the top aim coaches in the world, Aimbot. This is probably the most well-known and highly used aim guides on the internet. Some may call it the Bible of aiming literature, and others may not. This dude goes into detail on the positives and negatives of aim trainers, the science behind improvement itself, and how to use that information to most effectively train these scenarios. The freaking answers of the universe are in this document, okay? And also 7 different guides ranging from complete no finger having beginner all the way to crusty underwear in your mom's basement hasn't touched grass in 2 months aiming beasts with both tracking and click timing dominated routines depending on what you want to train. And it's all free! Download link in the description, by the way. So I was hype at this point. I've never been a quote-unquote good video game player. In fact, you guys have voiced your opinions rather loudly for the opposite.
Just get good, lol.
You get good! But this gave me hope that I could potentially not be complete trash anymore. After all, I had never actively tried to work on my aim, so it was unreasonable for me to think that it would just get better on its own. Will I hit anything? Actually, I had done Ascended tracking and Tile Frenzy for a little bit in the past, which then allowed me to get shit on in the intro of the guide, as they were the only 2 scenarios mentioned as the default ones that newbies waste their time on. But I had a plan set out that was gonna turn me into an aim god. 5-minute warm-up on SATA IC long strafes. The same 6 scenarios every day. 10 minutes per scenario for 30 days straight. Day 1 sucked! I had been using the same sensitivity since 2019, but upon looking at the guide, the intro to the very first routine said an ideal sensitivity would be somewhere around 20 to 30 centimeters for a 360-degree turn, which was less than half of what I was using. Choosing your sensitivity is like going to the toilet. It's a deeply personal experience, but eventually after a while, everyone needs a little bit of help. I had always thought that lower sensitivity was the way to go, but from using this guide, I found out that having it almost twice as fast was actually more beneficial to me. Which brings us to our first big tip. Fuck with your sense. Increase it. Bring it lower. Put a hat on it. I don't care. The only way you're gonna figure out what works best for you is by trying new levels and hating it. Eventually, you'll find that sweet spot that although it was uncomfortable at the time, it just kind of clicks. You don't feel like you're out of control in the finer small movements, but also not exerting yourself to cover half the area of your table when you need a click ahead behind you. For the first 15 days, I did 6 scenarios for an hour of total practice. Easily, by far, the one that tilted me the most was vertical long strafes. This scenario exposed me for the fool I was at thinking I could aim in a vertical manner, because I didn't really see any solid progress in my scores until day 5, but even then it was a struggle. I fucking hate this Red Bull, dude. But this brings us to our next big tip. Hey, don't worry about the score, bro. I know what you're about to say. What the fuck, AstroKitty? Haha, I'm a comedic genius. The whole reason I'm doing this is to get good, and the best way to check my progress is by looking at the score. Why are you saying don't look at it? Because it actually doesn't matter. Yes, I'm going to prove that aim trainers work by showing you my improved scores later in this video, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is luck in every scenario you do. The randomness of bot movements, respawn locations of targets, how you're feeling that day. You may not be particularly motivated some days to click lifeless dots in a hardware store simulator. Judge your improvement over a larger time period than whether or not you made a new record that day. You're a human, there will be days you don't do well. Get over yourself, dude. None of us are perfect, and you need to give yourself a break. Oh, sorry, that last bit was just for me. At the end of the first 15 days, I'd seen a massive improvement, not just in all my scores in every scenario, but also in the feel that I had. My tracking was visibly smoother, the size of the corrections that I had to do was decreasing. I was feeling really good about myself. And then I started on the intermediate beginner scenarios. And I sucked again! damn it, it was the worst. Okay, well, I wasn't completely terrible, but it did show me that as good as aim trainers are, a solid portion of the improvement that you see is actually just getting used to a certain scenario. Figuring out starting mouse placement, tendencies of the bot's movement, all things which don't actually add to your mechanical aiming skill but can help inflate the scores that you get, show that I made the right decision in switching to a brand new routine after the first 15 days. Which, funnily enough, is our next big tip. Dude, like, get uncomfy. You know what I mean? Get uncomfy, man. It doesn't matter if you're learning to dribble a basketball, applying for a job that you really want, or building up the courage to talk to that girl that you always stare at in a weird way. Stop doing that, man. Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. It is by far the best way to improve in any aspect you want to get better at, and it's the same thing with aim training. Try and go for that extra quick flick that you don't think you can get. Keep on tracking that invincible bot that just keeps going fucking left even though your mouse is halfway off your mouse pad. Putting yourself into these complicated situations within the scenarios will build your ability to perform and react when things are difficult outside of the scenarios in the games that you play. And holy shit did I find this one difficult. Sorry, what did I just say? I thought that my tracking was getting smoother. My tracking was visibly smoother? About as smooth as sandpaper, dude. Ironically now, after having done vertical long strafes every day for the 30 days, it was actually one of my best scenarios, reaching almost the 98th percentile in Kovaaks. Me and Red Bull are best friends now. Hey, can I go to bed yet, man? Finally, after all my hard efforts, the month was up and it was time to look at my results, and holy shit, I couldn't believe it. Constant improvement across every scenario I had trained. All my hard work and efforts were finally rewarded with aim that I could be somewhat proud about. I had done it, past the level of laughable, and could move on to bigger and better. Wait, what's that? Oh yeah, see, I did all that, then I took a 4-month break of not even touching video games, and now I'm back to sucking again, okay? Kovaaks.